very clear. Tamara Finkbeiner will join us later on in the show. We are currently with Donna Johnson and Tangie Brickhouse-Beaty, who is CEO of WOW Productions, Walking on Water Productions, who produced this awesome episodic called Secrets in Plain Sight. Before we get started, ladies, we're in COVID-19 and we got all this stuff going on with masks, vaccinations, yada, yada. It's very difficult in the world of entertainment to navigate through that. How have you guys been dealing with that?
Like everybody else, one day at a time,
Right,
one
right.
moment at a time sometimes. But like
Yes.
everybody else, we had to find a new way to put out content because we couldn't gather.
Yeah.
So we had to find a new way to do that. So yeah, just like everybody else, just trying to make our way. Right, Tangie?
Yeah.
Just trying to
Yeah.
make your way. I totally understand that. I totally understand that. It's just difficult. I mean, I had an opportunity to be in a Hulu series recently. Well, it's probably over the summer, and I was handpicked for this program, but I had to be vaccinated,
Right.
Mm.
and and you know what? I don't know how you. And I'll say this, and we'll move on. After that, I just went ahead and did it because I was like, you know what? One thing I got to do is trust the Lord above and beyond. But it was just a personal decision. I don't advocate yay or nay for it. I
Right.
think people ought to have the ability to decide
To
for
choose.
themselves. I think it's a
Right.
travesty that the government's forcing people or putting them in a corner to make a
Insane.
decision that they
Exactly.
really don't want to make.
Right. Right.
So it's difficult business. But getting to your show, tell us about the web series Secrets in Plain Sight.
Okay. Well, Secrets in Plain Sight actually started off as a stage play that was written by, it started off being written by Latasha Robinson.
Okay.
And it actually had a completely different name. And so I kind of joined in with Latasha, and Donna came in, and we kind of came to the end of Secrets in Plain Sight.
Okay.
And so we did Secrets in Plain Sight 1, we did Secrets in Plain Sight 2, and that was held at our theater that was on Shakespeare Road,
Okay.
um, a few years ago, maybe about 5, 6 years ago.
Mhm.
So before the pandemic hit, we were like, okay, we're going to do Secrets in Plain Sight again. We're going to do it on a larger scale at Harbison Theater. And so then the pandemic hit, and that changed everything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We sat down and Tam and I had talked about doing some sort of film project because Tam is more so on the film side
Mhm.
Okay.
of things. And so we sat down and thought about it and looked at Secrets and said, Secrets is already kind of laid out like a film.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we sat down, and Tam and I sat down and really converted the play
Mhm.
to the film, to a television series.
Got it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how that came about. And But Secrets in Plain Sight is definitely just that. It's a whole lot of people dealing with some past issues that are literally right in front of you, and can be very catastrophic if someone else knows. So just us living our lives and really hiding from what's the inevitable.
Yes. Yes. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we're speaking with the producers of Secrets in Plain Sight. And if you're interested in seeing this program, which I highly advise, you can check them out every Monday night online, Mondays at 7 p.m. on YouTube. If you just, and ladies, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can go to WOW Productions on YouTube and access all of the episodes. But every Monday night on YouTube, you can see this. And episode 4 is
It's
going to be dropping tonight.
Night.
We got a watch party going tonight, y'all.
Yes,
At 7 o'clock, and you
yes,
don't
we
want to miss
do.
that. So
Yes,
at 7 p.m. tonight, episode 4. But before that, after the show, go home, watch the first 3 episodes. Got to
exactly.
do that.
That's what you got to do.
You,
But I
yeah,
want
you
to
got to
make
do
sure, Maurice, I want to add something
that. Okay.
because there are 2 other producers on this project that I want to make sure that we acknowledge, and that's Jositra Robinson,
Okay.
who's an executive producer along with myself and Tamara, and then Latasha Robinson, who's also an associate producer along with Donna. So I just want to
Okay.
make sure that we give them their accolades because they worked hard,
Amen.
um,
Amen.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and want to make sure that we give credit where credit is due.
that's right.
Absolutely, absolutely, Tangie. And I was telling you guys before we came on live, I watched the first 3 episodes, and I was like completely
Yeah.
immersed into the series immediately. Immediately,
We love
and
that.
Great.
it's so well done. I mean, you guys did an A+ job, and right now, ladies and gentlemen, please watch it because this is going to be on Hulu, Netflix,
Yes.
BET before you can blink. You're going to have to pay to see
Listen,
it.
listen. If
So,
Hulu, Netflix, or Amaze, or
Whoever.
Amazon, or wherever see this, please call a sister.
yeah,
We could work something out. We are
yeah,
ready.
yeah.
And
Mhm.
when you see this project, we're really proud. We are truly proud
You know what?
of this project.
Right.
But one thing, if we had the budget, it would be amazing.
Hmm.
Um, but we give pride in everything that we do, and we do excellence um, for everything. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes,
So
yes.
we are really excited of the responses that we've gotten about this project and in the look of it and how professional it is. Uh,
Yes.
and that
Yes.
gives kudos to our cinematographer and our director of photography, which is Tam. She's amazing, amazing.
171 Productions.
And
Yeah.
so
Yes.
um, they Tam and Jositra Robinson
Okay.
are the 171 Productions
Mhm.
filmmakers, and so they
Okay.
are the ones responsible for all of the visual aid
Mhm.
that you see. And when I tell you, it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
It is amazing.
It
And
is
I
amazing.
saw you guys on the Akintunde show about a
Yes.
month ago, and
Uh-huh.
I love Ak. That's my main
Yeah.
man right there. I love
Yes.
Ak.
I love
And
him.
Donna, you are a co-host of
Yeah.
the show. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, you can see the Akintunde show on, I believe that's Clap TV,
It's on Facebook Live
Facebook Live.
every Tuesday and Thursday at
Okay.
8 p.m.
Gotcha.
And
Gotcha. Yeah.
you can catch it on YouTube throughout the week.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Love Ox show. And that's where I saw you guys, and I was watching, I'm like, wow, this is really a cool interview. And of course I did my research afterwards and just looked at the episodes and so forth. So I gotta have them on the show. They need to be recognized and people need to be aware of this program. And again,
Awesome.
ladies and gentlemen, I'm just gonna tell you right now, take advantage of it on YouTube. It's for free. You don't have to pay anything. You're gonna be watching it, and you're gonna be saying to yourself, "I can't believe this is for free."
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
That's
what
good.
you're gonna be
That's
thinking.
good.
For right
Eh,
now.
For
Praise
right,
the,
that's what
praise the
for
Lord.
right now. So you got to jump on it now, because it's that good, folks. I'm telling you right now. I'm not
Awesome. We
just blowing
appreciate
smoke.
that.
It's that good. Check it out on YouTube. I want to kind of ask you guys a little bit more about the show itself, and
Okay.
in that it's again so well done. Tell us a little bit though about the cast that you guys assembled. How were you able to get everyone together? All fine actors.
Okay. Well, I am in my private life. I am also a casting
You don't
director.
have a private life.
Wow is everything, right? So I'm also a casting director, and a lot of
Okay.
our actors in this film are theater actors
Okay. Okay.
that were actually either a part of the Secrets in Plain Sight stage play,
Mhm.
or they've been a part of Wild Productions actors group
Okay.
for a while. So
Okay.
a lot of people don't know that a lot of those actors have come to Wild Productions never act before.
Whoa. I never would have guessed that.
So
Right.
yes, so a lot of them have been what we call wild trained,
Okay.
and we're really proud of that.
Mhm.
Some of them are seasoned actors and have been in various productions and Tyler Perry shows and all that
Hmm.
good stuff and
Yes.
commercials and other films.
Right.
Okay.
But the cast we assembled, most of them, I would say 90% of them, 95% of them are all local.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
they
That's
are
awesome.
not
That's
full
awesome.
time actors, so we
Mhm.
Okay.
had to jimmy around schedules in order to make this shoot work.
Yeah.
Uh, we had a few of them that traveled hours
Mm.
to be a part of this production.
Mhm.
Okay.
So we've done everything. We did casting notices, open calls. We accepted, you know, audition tapes. We use Actors Access, of course.
Yes. Yes.
Um, I have
Absolutely.
a casting assistant, Arisha Connor Frierson, who
Okay.
helped me in selecting um, a lot of these actors as
Yes.
well. Hmm.
Yes. And if you guys need any more actors, give me a shout out. I was in Love Different in 2016 with Tommy Ford, and so yeah, if you need an
Awesome.
actor, hey, give me a shout. Now, when you say local, do you mean South Carolina?
Yeah, I mean South Carolina, and even more so
Columbia.
Columbia.
Columbia. Mhm.
Okay, okay. So yeah, again, if you guys need anybody, please give me a shout out.
We are
Uh,
always looking for actors. Always,
Amen. Amen.
always.
I tell you, this is an A+ project. And I'm going to say this. I want to just throw it out just to get your reaction or response to this, but as I'm watching it, it's got a Tyler Perry feel to it somewhat to me.
Hmm.
Somewhat. And as I say that, I sense that it is and you guys define this for me, but I'm looking at it, and particularly based on the interview I saw you do on the Akintunde show,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
it's leaning towards a faith-based slant.
Mhm.
And but what I love about it is the realness of it, because I
Got
think
it.
one of the issues that and please, you guys are going to have to clean this up, I know you will, but I think that one
I
of
got a
the
question for
issues
you too.
one of the issues I think that we have in the world of Christendom and entertainment is
Mhm.
keeping things real,
Hmm.
and we try to pretty things up, and people don't appreciate that because it's
Right,
not authentic.
right.
Right.
And
Right.
people want to see authenticity, or you're
Hmm.
not going to be effective in conveying whatever your message is.
Right,
Mhm. Mhm.
And we live in a real world. We don't live in a bubble, and things
Right.
happen. Things
right.
go down. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
Exactly.
there's a way to address those subjects. You know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
like you don't have to go ham, but
Right.
you have to
Right.
address it.
You got
Right.
yeah.
Or otherwise, no one's going to want to watch
Exactly.
your project.
Exactly.
How would you guys respond to that?
Well, I would really like to know what makes you think this looks like a Tyler Perry thing. I want to talk about that. But
Yeah.
to come on
Okay.
the opposite side of that,
Okay.
Donna always says we do nothing but authenticity, right?
Yes.
All
We're
things,
nothing but authentic.
nothing,
We're
Amen.
nothing
nothing
but
but
Amen. I love
authentic.
it. Yes.
And what we do
Thanks,
is
Keita.
we put real life on stage or in front of um, the audience. Our deal is we are trying to change the world one production at a time, right?
Amen.
That's our
Amen.
model. That's where we are. But
Mhm.
before we can do that, we got to really address what goes on in our house.
Yes.
We got to really address what goes on in our neighborhood. We got to really address it authentically. And
Yes.
Mhm.
so, yeah, we don't necessarily want to, um, be dropping F bombs,
Right.
right?
Right.
Mhm.
But we can really tell the story, a true story, a
Mhm.
real story,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and um, tell it in a way that it's not offensive to those who don't really deal with the secular world like that,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but it's welcoming to the secular world who don't who is turned off by the faith-based
Right. Right.
community.
Right.
So
Right.
telling a real story in real life in a real way is what WoW does.
Mhm.
Amen to
Period.
that. Amen to that. And
Mhm.
so let me circle back. And Don, I'd love to get your commentary as well, but let me circle back to my Tyler Perry reference. The reason I said that's because myself personally, whatever Tyler Perry does, I like a lot of stuff he does
Okay.
because he's just very honest to me. And
Okay.
he takes, in my opinion, a lot of criticism from people in the faith-based world
Uh-huh.
because he of the subjects he's willing to address,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is important.
Got it.
And I just think it's important to do that. And
Got it.
and then of course it doesn't hurt that he throws a little comedy in from time to time, which I love.
Right.
But I said that because it feels
Got it.
somewhat like that when I'm watching Secrets in Plain Sight.
Got it.
It's like yo, this is realness right here.
Yes. Yes. We
This is
do.
what's happening out here.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
But it's done with tact. You see what I mean? That's the thing I love.
That's
Mhm.
what we. Donna,
I-
you want to go ahead, and then
Well,
I'll go ahead and adjust the faith base.
Okay. Well, I will say this. We do very much so. We are authentic, if nothing else. We
Yeah.
are. And I would say this. It's all about the voices
Okay.
that I'll say that we hear, that Tangie hears, that Tam hears, that
Yeah.
Tasha, Jositra, myself, what we hear,
Okay.
how we live in our world.
Yeah.
But we also wanted to step outside and say, okay, so we may find ourselves being in a little bubble, but we
Yes.
have to be inclusive of other things that are going around in the world because the world is touching us just like it's touching everybody else.
That's right.
So
That's
we
right.
have to be able to do those voices. Now, on the Art Show, Tam made well, she looked at this really really closely and really good. Tangie has a very good male voice. Like she can speak from the male's point of view. She gets that down. With our other production, we had Confessions of a Good Man.
Okay.
That was speaking to men, and we had to get men's voices. Tangie was so good. She is brilliant at that, to
Okay.
hear what man has to think. And we had focus groups and everything to come into that. But it's all about us when we write. It's about what we experience, what we see, what people tell us. We try to incorporate all of that
Yeah.
into a positive story without it having to go to cursing and and whatnot like that, because you can still tell a good story without that. A good
Absolutely.
story is a good story,
Yes.
regardless, you
Yes.
know. So
I,
it's
I
just
I
how it's.
totally agree with that. And once
Mhm.
again, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking with the producers of Secrets in Plain Sight, a show, a program, an episodic, a 6-episode episodic that can be seen on YouTube every Monday at 7 p.m. And tonight, episode 4 drops. And they're
Yes.
having a watch party at 7 p.m. for episode 4 at Secrets in Plain Sight, which you can see on YouTube. Don't miss it. I wanted to also add that if you do get a chance to watch it, ladies and gentlemen, this is the website you can watch it at, so you won't have to be guessing. Well, Maurice, you said no. Just watch the the links that are sliding down at the bottom. And if once you start, I'm gonna warn you guys now. Once you start watching it, you want to keep going. So if you're one of those people like myself, if you're a binger, well, there's another website or a link that's sliding across the bottom. If you want to watch the entire series, you can watch it at wowproductions.org/SIPS TV series. So I'm just throwing that out, and you'll thank me later. You go, thanks, Maurice, because I can't stop watching. But I want to get back to something, Tangie, that I think I heard you say something on Ox Show about faith-based. Can you expound on that a little bit?
Well, meaning our projects or
Well, your project or just in general.
having faith-based projects, I think is important.
Okay.
Um, and that's what we do. One of the things that we've done with our stage plays um, is we've been able to present faith-based projects in a way that people don't feel like they've been hit over the head with
Yeah.
the Bible.
Right.
Yeah. That's
Um,
it.
it's sort of kind of like you come to a show. It's funny. We had a guy come back and say, "Hey, I went to Confessions of a Good Man, and it didn't hit me until I got home
Mm-hmm.
that this was really about my faith and
Wow.
what
I
I
love it.
believe." You know what I mean? And
Yes.
so it was something that he was able to really enjoy himself, but then got Jesus when he got home.
There you go. That's it
And
right there.
so
That's it
that's
right
kind of
there.
what we want to do. We want to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. We want to make sure that we present a message that you come to the realization that God can do what he does. We don't want to do we want to direct you in the room. We don't want to
Yes.
tell you to sit down.
Yes.
We want you to sit down on your own. We want you to rest in him on your own.
That's
And
right.
so having those types of projects told in a way that's real
There you go.
are more impactful and more um does the work of what
Mm-hmm.
we're supposed to do.
Yes.
And that's what WOW is trying to do. Donna and I in directing WOW Productions always says we are in this industry but not of this industry. And so we don't have to operate the way this industry does. The entertainment industry is crazy.
It
Mm.
is. It is.
But we
It
don't have to
is.
operate in that we can be in that room, but
Yeah.
we don't have to sit in that chair. And
There you go.
so we are creating a new aura and a new
Amen.
way of operating and doing business godly,
That's
Yes.
right.
professionally. And just
Yes.
because we are faith-based doesn't mean we need to be cheesy or
Mhm.
less than, or
Mhm.
this, you know what I mean? This is not a church thing. This
Mhm.
is this is a God thing. And when we do things in excellence because that's how he operates and requires us to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I knowing Ak, you guys might guess I'm a stand-up comedian as well. And I was doing a show with a
Uh-huh.
bunch of other comics that were using all kind of profanity.
Mhm.
And of course, I don't use profanity, but there was a heckler in the audience who was
Uh-huh.
just completely out of control. I mean, this woman was a witch. I'm sorry, but she was
Wow.
a witch. I couldn't believe it, and I
Woman.
thought, oh, okay,
Uh-huh.
okay, what am I going to do when I get up there? I get up there, and she didn't say anything. And then after about a minute or two, she actually got up, came to the front, and sat right in front of me. And I said, "Okay, oh,
Wow.
here it comes." I mean, I get ready, right? And she didn't say anything. Got done with my set. I got a big applause and everything. I did really well. Later on, she said, "I appreciate your set." She said, because I was just telling family jokes, just talk about my family and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was just, and it to her, it affected her. She said, "I'm in a dysfunctional relationship. I'm being physically abused by my husband, and
Mm.
watching your set made me think about the choices that I've made that's put me in that
Mm.
situation."
Mhm.
And I'm thinking, I wasn't even. I thought I was
Right.
just up there having a good time telling jokes, but God will work through you if you'll
Yes, he
do what He told you
will.
to do.
Yes, he
Yes,
will.
he
You know what
will.
I mean? And so
Mhm.
there's a way that my grandma used to say, you can't be so heavenly bound that you're no
If you're
earthly
no
good, right?
earthly good.
So and that's what I love about your production. It's like it's just authentic, but it's done so well. It's so tactfully
Thank
done.
you.
Thank you.
And that's
Thank
what we
you.
have to be willing to do in the faith-based world. You get a lot of people out here, and it's so, like you said, Tangie, about the production being so cheesy. People are just going to turn it off or go to the next thing.
Yeah.
You know,
And I hate
Eh,
using that word cheesy. You know what I mean? Because,
yeah.
I don't like talking about other people's projects. But for me, there's some things that I like and some things that I don't. And so some
Everybody.
faith-based projects are,
Mhm.
that's the only word I can come up with is cheesy. So
Mhm.
no
There's
offense to
a
anybody, but you know what I
All
mean.
right.
there's a program on PureFlix right now that's called Vindication. Are you guys familiar with that?
I am
Yes.
not. And I saw that and I have not been able to catch it, but I'm going to catch it.
You have
Um,
got to watch this.
I love
This program it's a crime story like NCIS
oh,
or Blue Bloods or Law and Order. It's
really?
set up like that, right?
it. Mhm.
But when
Mhm.
you start watching it, if you're a secular viewer, that's why you're going to watch it. But
Right.
once you start watching it, you go, oh, they're talking about Christ.
Right.
They're
Oh,
actually going to the light.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time you figure that out, you're invested.
Right.
It's like,
wow.
you know what I
Okay,
mean?
yeah, okay, I'll watch it.
Because
I'll
And,
watch
there's a
it.
and so
crime. Yeah.
that's what I love about productions like this. Like you have to be willing to get up to that line,
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have to cross it, but you got to get up there.
Yeah.
right,
You know
right,
what I
right,
mean?
right, right.
And the show does that, and it's just so yeah, please check it out. It's on PureFlix. They just got done with season 2, and they had actually, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to move on to my next question. But what happened in that program, and this is the fault I have with Christendom Entertainment.
Uh-huh.
He did a scene. It was episode 2, and there was a scene in episode 2 that some Christian film festivals rejected because they thought he went too far. And check it out. Check it out. Episode 2. There's a scene in it. They're talking about teenage sexting. Hey, that's a real thing.
That's what it is. That's what's going on.
That's a real thing.
That's
And
life.
so he addressed the subject, and the Christian film festivals felt like he had gone too far. Now, I can tell you right now, I can watch a secular program
Yep.
where they go too far, and people in the church have no problem watching it.
Not at all.
Right. That's right. That's right.
Not at
So
all.
you're gonna,
They do.
yeah,
Yes, they do.
and I'm like, and you're gonna ding this man because he was willing to go to a level that made you a little nervous at home because it's supposed to be a Christian program. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not a big deal. This is what that's what's happening.
What's going
But
on.
anyway,
They just got offended because their daughters and sons was doing it at home and they didn't want to see it on the film.
there it is right there. There it is right there. And so I
Close
just,
to home. Hit
Yeah.
too close to home. Mhm. But
do you
we gotta
guys
put
think?
those things? We got to put those things so that people can see them. Put them right out there on, like they used to say, we got our crazy people. We put them right out in the South. We put them right out there on the front porch. You know,
Right.
let them see it. Let people see it. We have to, and we can't keep our heads buried
Buried.
in the sand
Yeah,
and trying to ignore what is happening in the world. Like
My
I said,
goodness.
if we are in a bubble, you're still getting things coming in into your bubble. They're
That's
going
right.
to affect you just like COVID did. It
That's
affected
right.
the entire world. You thought
Yes.
you were immune? No. So
Right.
No, no, we're not immune at all, and that's one of the things that you know what, I actually think that we're starting to improve in faith-based entertainment in just addressing real.
right.
I
Right.
think we're improving at that. I think one of the issues, and I'd love to get your response to this. I'd love to get your response to this, but I think, budgets, it's so difficult for a faith-based project to get a budget that will
Huh.
allow them to do what they really want to do, and on a high enough level where people in the secular world will go, all right, I got to see this thing. Do you think that budgets are improving in the faith-based world?
Hey.
Ooh, that's a good
I'm on.
yes and no.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes and no. Yes.
Yes and no. Okay.
Because I would say this, Tangie, I don't mean to cut you up, but yes and no, because there are budgets for films like the War Room. I don't know
Okay,
if you remember
yeah,
that,
yeah.
the War Room. And the Shack. The Shack is another one that's
Yes,
on
that's
one.
another one, yeah.
Okay. So there are films that are being made.
Okay.
Are the budgets enormous like the Avengers? No.
Yeah.
But they are improving. And I think
Yeah.
if we continue with good quality content,
Mhm.
like like Wow Productions, yay, that we could we may, and you know what, we may not ever get up to the Avengers level, but
Right.
as long as we keep putting out good quality and good content for people to watch,
Well,
I
and
think there will be a good budget.
So here's my. I thought long and hard about this question, right?
Okay. Okay.
Do I think that the budgets for faith-based projects are increasing? No.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I think that in creating a budget and looking at investors who are trying to say, hey, I'm going to invest money into the project.
Okay.
We're talking about, when we say it's a faith base, we're
Yes.
talking about a corner of the market, because a lot of people don't want to go to a faith-based
Right.
project.
Right.
Now, if we said, like Secrets, here's a project and our angle is faith-based, we are more likely to get more investors because we are broadening our horizon, and we're not
Yeah.
talking about the corner of the market. Because
Right.
a lot of people like me won't go to a, I loved War Room because the trailers were great,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But the other, a lot of Christian based stuff, I don't necessarily really want to go to. So I'm not in that number of saying I'm going to recuperate my money from what I invested in,
Yes.
because, you know, because of that. So I think that faith-based projects that are angled and not necessarily directed are going to get more money than those that are saying we are faith-based, this is a Christian film, and come there. Now, Tyler Perry has done an amazing job.
He has.
And his and what he did was build his own audience. He started off with his stage plays and toured the country so everybody knew him, and then dabbled into a film, and you know what I mean, and then went to TV. But he built his own, and then went to the networks and said, "Hey, I'm coming with these billions of people behind me. You need to give me some play." You know what I mean? But they wasn't paying attention to him prior to, and they wasn't really paying attention to a lot of the other, of course we had the Cosby Show and the TV shows like that, but they weren't controlled and they weren't faith-based.
I was gonna say that they weren't faith-based.
They weren't faith-based.
And I love that you said that, because a lot of times people, the so-called powers that be, look at it and go, well, this is another Jesus film because we called it faith-based. And then they don't give it the proper respect that it deserves. And then people don't see you. You don't get the visibility like everybody else is getting. And you kind of like pushed over into a corner. Yeah, they're over there. And you don't get very much out of that. So I like that. It's almost like, in the business of comedy, you don't want to go, we don't, as Christian comedians, want to necessarily announce that. I'm a comic just like the rest of these comics.
Right.
Okay. And you can decide once you see my act whether or not you like it. But, we're all doing the same thing.
Right.
We're all doing the same thing. And I think that's what needs to probably happen when it comes to Christian entertainment. We don't necessarily have to announce that. Just put it out there.
Right.
I just think the powers, again, so-called, that be, they are all over it. Like, they're like, you know what? We're going to call it faith-based because you said Jesus 3 times.
Exactly.
You said prayer 5 times. So they're just going to label you.
Right.
And so so anyway, to your point, Tangie, to your response, there's a lot of plausibility to what you said that is preventing us from getting our projects on a high level. But to go back to something, Donna, you said, I believe that we can get there. No, maybe not on an Avengers level, but have you ever considered this? Do you know how much TD Jakes has got a nice film company? TD Jakes has got some good stuff going. Do you think about some of and TD produces solid stuff, by the way.
Yes, he does.
If you think about the mega churches that are out there, there are a ton of mega churches out there.
It is.
And I'm thinking that needs to turn to faith-based entertainment. There, actually, in my opinion, there's enough money in some of these some of these mega churches that could put an Avengers level project.
Yes. Yep. There are.
It's there.
There is.
But will they? That's the thing. Will they?
Well, that's the question, Donna.
And are they open to allowing real to be presented?
And then there's that, Tangie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, we can come to the church, but the church wants us to be churchy.
Right.
And that's not the world.
No.
I want to deal with what goes on behind the door. I want to deal with what goes on in your house with
Yes,
your family. I
that's
want to
right.
deal with that child that you hide in. I want to
Mhm.
deal
Oh
with
wow, my goodness.
that those that addiction that you're dealing with.
Yes.
I want
Yep.
to deal with, you know what I mean, the fact that you got a past.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What
And
Yes.
happened?
now
What's
you holy,
happened?
Absolutely.
You know.
and now
So
you holy.
and
You know?
now you saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, fire baptized,
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
and now
Well,
you
and
didn't forgot.
oh,
Right.
there it is.
There it is.
There
Mhm.
it
You
is
know.
right there, Tangie. And that's the hurdle that has to be cleared by the church.
Right.
We are not perfect.
Right.
We are just not, our lives are not hunky dory and everything is all good. It's not the case. We're going through the same thing everybody else is going through.
That's
Yes, I
right.
call myself a Christian, but I'm
Mhm.
struggling, brother, just like you're struggling with that thing or whatever it may be. It's
Right.
time to get real about that. But
Right.
and that's why the world doesn't really want
Mhm.
to investigate what we're doing or necessarily even want to walk through that church door because they
Right.
already know that.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Right.
They already know we're flawed.
Exactly.
It's like,
They
you
see
know,
you.
Right.
You know,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
it's back in the day. We used to always say, "Real recognize real." Right.
Mhm.
yes,
We recognize when you're being real, and
yes,
we recognize when you're not.
yeah,
and
Mhm.
and it is hard for me to receive from you. It's hard for me to believe you. It's hard for me to get anything from you if I don't think that you're being real with me.
Mhm.
And
yeah.
that's one of the problems that I think that we face in a lot of our
Hey, Tamara.
projects. Hey Tam.
Hey, hey,
Pam.
can you guys hear
A
me?
lot
I
of our projects.
apologize.
Oh no, we got you. You sound great, Tamara.
Awesome, awesome.
Mhm.
Okay, that a lot of our projects are not necessarily depicting the real, and that's
Right.
where
Right.
we are coming in to the
Mhm.
gate swinging
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
with that.
Mhm.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are adding the third member of the group of Wow Productions, Tamara Finkbeiner, who is a director of Secrets in Plain Sight, as well as a producer. Tamara, thank you so much for joining us.
You're
A-
welcome.
And we were talking about the depiction of real life circumstances in Christian film, or the lack
Yes.
thereof, right, ladies? Maybe, perhaps,
Yes.
but but your show definitely does not lack in authenticity. I love it. I was telling Donna and Tangie that I've invested myself into the first 3 episodes. Can't wait for episode 4 to drop tonight at 7
Yeah.
p.m. on YouTube. But we were
Awesome.
talking about the lack of authenticity. And again,
Hmm.
your show does not do that. But in faith based films, what
Yeah.
would be your response to that, Tamara?
I it's twofold. For me, I can understand. Well, I'll say it like this: when I see faith-based film, television, sometimes I've felt like it's just really heavily filtered towards the believer who is watching.
Yes, yes,
Um,
absolutely.
and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
No,
But I
no.
also feel like you do have to be true to the circumstance. And I can
Yes.
say that's one thing with Wow Productions and anything that we've done, myself and my business partner partnering with Wow,
Hmm.
we make sure that we are depicting authentic situations, not
Okay.
how we would want somebody to respond or as a believer or as a non-believer, but
Hmm.
how would a human being in this moment
That's right,
respond?
right there. Perfect.
And that's it. That's how we approach it. And so I
Yes.
can't say that that's always there in faith-based films that I've seen. And I think that's what kind of I'll be honest, sometimes it deters me
Yeah.
from
Yeah. Yeah.
viewing and watching
Yeah.
because, and I'm a believer,
Yeah.
but it's just like, no, that ain't how that would go down,
It doesn't. No,
Watch.
that ain't how it is. That's it, Tamara. Well,
Yeah.
I'll say this to you. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Secrets in Plain Sight with Donna Johnson and Tangie Brickhouse-Beaty and Tamara Finkbeiner, the producers of this fine program, which you can see on Mondays at 7 p.m. online, weekly Secrets in Plain Sight. And tonight, a watch party at 7 p.m. for the drop of episode 4. You don't want to miss that. But first, watch the first 3 episodes so you can catch up. As soon as the show is over, go watch the first 3 episodes because you're not going to want to miss it. Tamara, I was telling Donna and Tangie, this is an awesome production.
Thank you.
This is really an awesome program, and the fact that it can be seen for free right now is a gift to the public, that you can just go to YouTube and watch it. In fact, I'll go this far, Donna and Tangie, I didn't mention this, I'll go this far. I don't think I've ever seen a program as well done as yours on YouTube. You know what I mean? It's like, this is like too good to be on YouTube, you know? And so I mean, I fully, it's got to be, I don't know what your guys' plans are. I know it's really difficult trying to navigate through this investor world. You were saying, Tangie, it's brutal earlier, and it is.
Yeah.
But this is like Hulu or Netflix worthy. You know, without a doubt.
Y'all hear that? Please contact Netflix and Hulu and tell them come see Secrets in Plain Sight because we are looking to talk to them.
The cinematography, I mean, the editing is just so spot on. Well done.
That's her.
And I can't take all credit. Kudos to my business partner, Josita Robinson, who also, we both edited it. And, you know, it was a lot, but it was good.
You killed, hey, Tamara, you killed it. And the aerial shots of the city, oh my gosh, I loved it. So I really think you guys are going to be on a national platform, and God's doing something special with your program. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I do want to ask, tell us a little bit about Walking on Water Productions and how it was formed.
Well, Walking on Water Productions was started by accident, actually.
Whoa, okay.
It started in 2005 when I was in Connecticut.
Okay.
I had a show that I was doing and had a falling out with an entertainment company, and they dropped the show, and it was within a month of actually performing. So I went down to the theater, and the theater said, we don't rent to individuals. You have to be a company.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there, I'm bawling my eyes out. This is the first time that I'm going to be producing a play on my own.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I heard just as clearly as day the story of Peter walking on water. And he said, God, if you tell me to get out this boat and come to you, you know what I mean? And so so that's what we're doing. We have no clue what we're doing, where we're going. We are truly walking on water.
Amen.
And we're walking to where he tells us to go. And he has not failed us yet. We moved here in 2000. I moved here in 2008. I joined forces with Donna Johnson in 2011. Joined forces with 171 in the same, was it the same year?
Was it 2011? Oh God, it's been long.
Wow. Yeah,
I don't even. I can't remember.
2012.
Well, yeah, 2012. Yeah,
we joined forces with 171 Productions, and have been running since then. We've been doing stage plays, and then I think at the latter part of 2015, Tam exercised her. Well, back up. 2012. We strong-armed her into filming our first stage play that received a national distribution deal. She did not want to do that, but she did. And sorry.
That's okay.
And so we started filming our trailers as films.
Okay. Yep.
And so, but that was all 171 because I don't know nothing about a camera other than my phone.
Right.
And so that's how it's been running,
Okay.
doing stage plays, and then
Mhm.
now TV series and prayerfully films and all that good stuff.
Tangie, you're on your way. I'm telling you right now.
I'm
You guys are on your
trying.
way. And
I'm trying.
and if you look at, we mentioned Tyler Perry a few times, but Tyler Perry was sleeping in his car. I mean, the man was almost done. And he
Yeah.
kept going. He went through the
Mhm.
lowest point of his life and fought through it by faith. Look where he is now.
Yeah.
And
I pray that the Lord does not have me follow in his footsteps, because I like where I sleep, eat, drink, and
yes,
stuff.
yes,
I never
yes,
got to do
yes.
all that.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
Listen, I
you don't
let
want to do
Tyler
that.
have that testimony. I'm gonna follow.
Yeah. And well, I it was a loose comparison. You
Yeah, I
have
get
to
it.
go
I'm
through
just
things.
joking.
Absolutely.
It's not an easy, journey
not.
to make to get to
not.
wherever you're trying to get to. It's
Yeah.
hard. There are bumps in the road. There are great
Right.
difficulties that you encounter, and God tests your faith through those challenges.
Yeah, Lord.
And if
Absolutely.
you're willing, I love what you said about how you started. You said, "Well, you know what, Lord, I'm just going to get out of the boat. I'm just going to come to you.
Right.
Right.
I'm just coming, and you got to have my back, God.
Right.
As so to speak, and that's how you started, and look where you are now. And it's been a long journey, but I can see in the product that it is like legit, and you're on the precipice. Look, I know I've said it like 7-8 times, but you guys
We
are on the
received that.
precipice
Come
of
on here.
being on a national platform
Yeah.
with this production. There's no
Yes.
doubt about that. It's that well done, but you have to go through hard times to get it. Steve Harvey, hate to use this analogy again of
Yeah.
sleeping in the car, but Steve Harvey had to sleep in his car.
Grab your car. Yeah.
And the
Right.
man kept fighting by faith, and he's where he is. So
Yeah.
I just love your
Absolutely.
start, Tangie, because you just
Thank
you
you.
just said, you know what, Lord, I'm going to do this. You thought about Peter walking on the water, and you said, I got to trust you, and you've stuck with it. And
Yeah.
and the evidence is clearly in the product, ladies and gentlemen. If you will check it out on YouTube. Hello, Girani, watching from Uganda. Hey, man, you got check. I know you got YouTube in Uganda, Girani. So watch it, man. This is Secrets in Plain Sight by the producers Donna Johnson, Tamara Finkbeiner, and Tangie Brickhouse-Beaty. Check it out tonight, episode 4. But Girani, watch the first 3 episodes first as soon as the show is over, because you're going to be hooked. You're going to be hooked. I was almost disappointed. I was like, good gosh, that's right. I remember they said on our show that they are, dropping it every Monday night. So,
Right.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's really, really, really just so well done. I want to ask you guys, and any one of you 3 can take this question, but what kind of advice can you leave with young writers out there and producers and directors that are thinking about making a career out of this?
Mm-hmm.
Tam, take it away.
Tam, I was gonna say, Tam, we've been talking. Go ahead, Tam.
Um, well, first thing is when you come up against a wall,
Yeah.
don't think that that's the end,
Amen.
because you will encounter what you feel is a wall. You will encounter resistance. You will encounter anything. And I'll say this too: when you are walking in your purpose,
Mhm.
you're going to encounter things that want to take you off the course of your purpose.
Yes.
Right.
And
Yes.
as somebody in an entertainment industry, I know that I am built for this. Is it the only thing I do? No, but I know that it's in me to do. And
Yes.
so don't stop just because you hit a wall, or if you are
Yeah.
experiencing something, don't stop. Also,
Right.
keep training.
Yeah.
Keep learning, keep growing in that craft. I feel that is so important. Myself included, Donna and Tangie as well. We keep learning. There's things that we don't know. There's stuff that even doing this project, we're now learning and now growing in and seeing. And so it's, study to show yourself approved. Keep,
Yeah.
Amen.
keep growing. Don't stop. Even though, we appreciate people when they say, oh, this series is amazing. They love it. We appreciate all that. And it's such a blessing to hear. But we also, in ourselves, are like, all right, So we got to keep studying. We got to keep growing. How can we make
Yeah.
this dialogue better? How can we make this better? How can we learn? What did we learn? What did we do
Right.
well? What didn't we do well?
Yeah.
But just our persistence is what keeps us going.
Yes.
So continue to study, always study. You know, the craft, the business, because we're learning that
Yeah.
side. I'm not the
Mhm.
most business savvy as far as it comes to the entertainment business
Yeah.
side. I'm
Yeah.
very much a creative in the fact of, yo, you go, you do that. I'm gonna shoot stuff. Like, what do you do? I shoot people. You know, I do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the business, I'm like, oh God.
I got
Like,
it.
I don't,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but I have to be mindful, and I have to be a good steward of what he's putting me to learn that
Right.
side of it.
Right.
And I'm doing my best to learn it. So,
Amen.
those are the two things I would leave, I would give people is, don't stop just because you hit the wall or because adversity comes,
Yes.
and keep growing
That's right.
Right.
as you are doing.
That's it.
So, yeah.
Giovanni says share a link, and you can follow it at the bottom of the screen,
yeah.
sliding at the bottom of the screen, Giovanni. You can go to the website to see the episodes that they have completed so far that's made available. But if you want to binge watch it, you can also go to wowproduction.org/SIPSTV series. So, and this is 6 episodes total?
It's 5.
5.
5.
5 total.
So, Urani, you'll thank me later. So I'd tell you, I love what you said too, Tamara, about staying with the thing. You
Yeah.
know that God put it in you when you just keep driving through the failures, through
Yeah.
the difficulties, through the challenges. And Lord, why did this have to happen or what have you? I mean, I can tell you, as a comedian, I've bombed enough to go, you know what? This is really brutal, but I'm coming back tomorrow.
Right.
I mean, it's not even a second thought. I'm coming back.
Right.
You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
And that's when people, they look at you and they're like, because I'm looking at you guys. I don't do what you do. I mean, I think what you guys do as far as producing a program, whether it be a film or an episodic or what have you, just putting something behind the scenes, the producers, the directors, the writers.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys do that. That is just an overwhelming task to me. Like, I would love to fool around with it. I have some ideas for a screenplay or a script that I haven't had the guts or courage to sit down and tackle yet. Maybe one day I will. But that, again, tells you the difference between what's actually built within you to do. Like, you
Right.
guys have no doubt, oh, I'm doing this.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just there. God put that in you. That's your gift.
Right.
And that's great advice, Tamara, that you put out there for young people. It's like, don't give up. When you know that you know that you know,
Yep.
Then you
that's
know.
what God told you to do. Don't quit.
Exactly.
Nothing's for free. Nothing's easy.
Right.
Not at all.
So that joy will replace the feeling of not succeeding.
Right.
It's like I'll use one more analogy as far as comedy goes. Is like people look at you and they go, "How do you go up there and bomb and still smile?" Because I love it.
Right.
Right.
I can't help it, and actually, I don't even know why I love it, but I can't wait to come back tomorrow.
Right. It's so,
So-
it's so funny. It's so funny because a lot of times, I quit every other day.
Yeah.
And and I mean, I quit every other day. And it's sort of kind of like, okay, so if I quit, what else am I gonna do? There's nothing else that I want to do. There's nothing else that I'm capable of doing, of course, a lot of other things. But what I want to do, what I would do for free, what I have done for free. All
Yeah.
of these things.
How about that?
But it's those things that you would do when you laying in bed and you can't think of anything else. That's it. When it's consumed, you can't go throughout the day without saying this one thing. That's it. And understanding what your purpose is. My purpose, has always been to tell stories. It's always been. And so that's what I do. That's who I am. That's what my purpose is. And understand when you know what your purpose is, you can't, it's like your name. You can't get
Yeah.
away from your name, even if you try.
How about that?
You,
Wow.
you could change
That's
your
right.
name. You can go legally change it. But your
I love
name
it.
is your
Yes.
name.
Goodness.
And
I
that
love
is
that.
it.
Yes. That is
And
awesome.
also,
And that's
oh, I'm
that's
sorry.
exactly, Tangie, what it is.
Yeah.
That's your name.
Mhm.
That's the name that God gave you. Like, you know
Yes.
what I mean? It's like one day
Right.
we'll find out what our real name, one day we'll
Yep.
find out what our real name is, that
Yep.
guy. We'll find out.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
right
Mhm.
now, you're operating in that name you don't know yet, but that's your name.
That's your name.
Right.
Goodness. I love that.
Mhm.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we are talking with the producers of Secrets in Plain Sight. Now, if you have enjoyed our conversation, like it and share it,
Yeah.
and subscribe to the Maurice Brown Comedy Channel and any social media engine that these fine ladies are a part of, Tamara Finkbeiner and Donna Johnson and Tangie Brickhouse-Beaty. And if you're coming in and it's like at the very end of the show and you just saw Tangie make that great statement about your name, and you're like, I missed it. No, you didn't miss it. Because tomorrow, about 12 noon, 1 o'clock, you can see the whole darn thing again on the Creative Motion Network on Roku TV. You can see the whole thing, so it's all good.
Awesome.
Yeah, you gotta love it.
Great.
And before we get out of here, guys, can you tell fans how they can follow you on social media or by website?
Okay. I guess I'll start. Social media. I
Okay.
am Tangie Brickhouse-Beaty on Facebook.
Okay.
Tangie Beaty or Tangie Beaty on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
Instagram, I'm on Wild Tangie.
Okay.
But for Wild Productions, is Wild Productions LLC on all social media platforms.
Awesome. And Donna?
I'm getting. I'm hesitant because it's Donna Johnson, producer, playwright on Facebook. You can find me on there, and I have
Okay.
a couple other projects that are in the hopper that are coming soon in January, and
Okay.
it'll be more media and social names then.
Awesome. Awesome. And Tamara?
Yes, it is Tamara Finkbeiner on Facebook and Instagram, and also 171 Productions, or 070 PROD on Instagram, excuse me, and Facebook, and also Wild Productions, because I'm a big part of Wild Productions as well. And Secrets in Plain Sight.
Please.
Yes, Secrets Limited Series for Instagram and Facebook. Yes.
All right.
And TikTok, if you're on there.
You gotta be on TikTok. I'm too old. I still haven't figured TikTok out yet.
Me neither.
But yeah, we're trying. It's just,
Yeah.
I feel like
I'm a
man.
little, behind. You listen, I'm still trying to get used to Instagram. So, if I would prefer to go back to MySpace, but that's just, I'm just telling the age.
I love it. I love it. So ladies and gentlemen, check it out. Secrets in Plain Sight on YouTube by these fine ladies. And tonight at 7 p.m.,
Tonight.
watch party going down for episode 4, the drop of episode 4.
I have
Please
to say,
check
this
it
is
out.
my favorite episode.
Oh, boy. Because I can't wait to see what's going to go down in episode 4.
Yeah,
The tension
this is
is
my
building
favorite
big
episode.
time.
This is my favorite episode. I'm excited about this episode.
Amen. Okay. Well, listen, guys, thank you so much for being on the Maurice Brown Show. It has been my honor and my pleasure to have you guys on the show.
Thank
and may the
you.
peace
Thank
of
you for
Jesus
having
Christ,
us.
anytime, may the peace of Jesus Christ be with you and your families. God bless you.
You as well.
God
Thank
bless. Thank you.